Thank you again for speaking with me and being my neighbor at this Cars and Coffee. Go ahead and state your name and tell me your ride. What are we looking at?
My name is Nagel. This is a 1958 Pro Street Corvette. It is a 427 big block Chevy, 60 over, so it's like 440 inches, 671 supercharger with two 850 double pumper Hollies, 400 trans. It's got rack and pinion front on air ride, 9-inch in the back.
So it drives like a modern car then, with the rack and pinion, the air ride?
A little bit. The tires don't help. They're, in the fronts, it's only got 165 tires on the front, but on the back, it's a 31 18.5 Hoosier, which is equivalent to like a 475 60 15.
Yeah.
Or 70 15. So, for perspective. But no, I've had this car done like this since 1989.
Oh my goodness, I was 1 year old.
Yeah, so we finished this car 89. First car show was Labor Day Cruise 1989, and 2 weeks later they shot it. It was on the cover of Hot Rod magazine in January of 1990.
Oh, that's cool.
So it was on the cover of Hot Rod, Pop Rot Rodding, Super Chevy, Super Street Machine, Chrome and Flames, a magazine in France called Nitro, another one in England called Custom Car. And in 1995, they made a Hot Wheel of it. So. Oh
my! So this car has a history, and it's been appreciated, and you still have it,
still have it.
Could you tell me why you chose this platform? Did you like the two-door aspect of it? Do you like the way it can be modified, the looks? Or why this car?
My dad, when I was about 10 years old, started getting into old cars, and primarily Corvettes. And but we restored cars for him, but they were all stock. I mean, all NCRS restoration, every nut, bolt, washer, screw. And I'm like, I like that, but I wanted mine modified. So we found one that had been crashed, and it needed a front clip, and it had the wrong motor in it and the wrong transmission. So we didn't feel bad about cutting it up and making it into what we wanted.
So needless to say, you kind of grew up, or you've had a history with cars, and I guess, maybe that your dad instilled that passion.
Oh, for sure.
How was that like, tinkering? What were some of the things that you guys would bond over while wrenching?
Well, the thing is, we did it, some of it at work. We have our own family business, and we would kind of do it on the side, and we would, it was something that was like, to get away from work. Work's work, and you get all the stresses of work, and so this was the fun part. So I did more of it so than my dad, and I had guys helping me, and it was like when business was kind of like, he was frustrated, he'd walk over into the shop, and it's like that could bring him a lot of joy. And we used to travel around the country with his cars to take them to car shows. It's a whole thing about NCRS. It's like a judging thing. They judge your car against, like, not car against car, but against a point system. So it was always a big thing to try to get the highest points you could on the car. So,
and a way to de-stress and decompress out there, huh? Because usually cars are pain, right?
Yeah. Oh, they can be. It is what it is, but it's fun. And like I said, I just wanted something different, and it's funny because it's pink, and everybody's like, well, "Why do you have a pink car?" And I'm like, because I wanted something different. I'm a big guy. I can have a pink car. It's like, what are they gonna say?
But the opposites attract, right?
And it was funny because the guy's like, "Man, I don't want to put pink." I said, "Well, it's got a big blower on it, so all the guys like it. All the guys like it.
It does.
Every girl comes over and wants to take a picture, and all the kids like it because they think it's it's a Hot Wheel."
Yeah.
And it's funny because I go, we'll take it to a car show, and just about every girl wants to come by and take a picture or look at it, and I'm like, "See, now I did this when I was single, like, hey, it was a good attraction."
You did it the right way. Now, you mentioned it being a Hot Wheel. Like, how did that come about? Did they contact you, or I mean, this was in the early '90s, but how did that happen?
They now like later on, even in the 2000s, they started doing like famous cars as Hot Wheels, and they got told the people they're doing that, hey, this is this car, this is that car. Before that, they just took inspiration off other cars. But the designer, his name Larry Wood, who designed most of the Hot Wheels back then, was parked 2 cars from me at a car show.
Oh my God.
And next thing you know, there's a Hot Wheel. Well, Mattel has never said, "Oh, that's your car." But I talked to Larry, and he's like, "No, that's for sure your car. It's a '58 Corvette. It's pink. It's got a blower motor on it." I mean, they can't really deny it's not that car. But no, I've talked to him a few times, and he's like, "Oh no, that's your car for sure." So.
Hey, be nice to everyone you meet at the car show. You never know, it could be the inventor of the Hot Wheel, right? Let's go. I mean, what other cars do you have at the house? What are the projects do you have that you're building, that you're working on? Or is this kind of your pride and joy in your only baby?
Well, this is the one I've had the longest by far. I like a little bit of everything. Okay. So it's not like, hey, I got only have. So this is considered a pro street car, and it's funny because there's guys that are like, it's only got to be pro street. Well, if you're familiar with gassers, I have a gasser 56 Chevy that I drive here sometimes. It's black and red. It says Crimson Ghost on the side.
Oh, okay. No,
yeah, and so that's like a 60 style race car deal, and then. I have a little Woody that's like a rat rod tiki thing that my son drives. And I got a 67 Chevelle, so I got the muscle car.
Chevelle, man.
Yeah. And then I had built my dad a 57 Cadillac Eldorado that is more like a mild custom. And when he passed in 2018, I kept that car. Yeah. So they're all different styles. It's like, it's fun because I have gasser friends. They're like, oh, you should only, your gasser. And then I pull this. And they're like, well, where's your car? I'm like, this is my car. They're like, well, you have a gasser. I'm like, well, I like everything.
Everything.
I like gassers. I like pro street. I like pro touring. I like low riders. I like stock ones. I like custom. It's not even necessarily what style. It's just I like everything. Obviously you don't like everything of every style, but
I think you're reaching for bigger pictures, that everyone's bringing what they have, what they take pride and joy in. Would you say?
Yeah. See, that's the thing. Like at this show,
like these Beamers and
at this
GTIs,
show, like especially like here, some of the guys. I mean, I'm 51, so a lot of the old car guys are older than I am, and a lot of the import guys are younger than I am. So I'm kind of in like middle, but like some of them are like, oh, we don't like that. We don't want to come because, oh, we don't like the import guys. And the import guys say, oh, we don't like the old guys with their old car. But in reality, we're all doing the same thing.
Yeah.
We're just starting with different platforms. People go, oh, I don't care what it is. I don't care what it is. You're taking your car and you're modifying it, looks, performance, whatever you want. We have the same passion. It's just different starting platforms. And people sometimes get all, oh, I don't like this because that. It's like, I don't have to like it. It's not mine. But you can appreciate
it. Very cliquish, right? Very territorial.
It's even, I mean, this is a Chevy. And then you got guys that are Fords. They're like, oh, it's a Ford, it's a Chevy. It's a Honda, it's a Toyota. It's like, dude, it's the same shit. It's just a matter if that's what your passion is. And, like I've talked to some of the guys that they're like, oh, well, I said, yeah, but, this guy's 75 years old. I don't like the import guys. Oh. I'm like, oh, well, here's the deal. I go, when you were in high school, you took a Model A and straight piped it from the, and I go, and your mom and dad told you how stupid you were. And now they're doing the same thing. And you're telling them it's all relative, but I don't think, it's like everything else. There's, I guess the biggest thing on some of the younger guys now, they just seem like they're a little bit like disrespectful when they come to a spot like this and like doing stupid shit. It's like, dude, you don't do that right where you're at. I mean, if you want to go for a ride and think, fine, we'll go drive like a couple miles away, do a hot lap, and then bring it back. You don't do it right in front of where everybody's at, and because that just causes problems for everybody. I mean, I've had this car done like this for going on since 89, so 34 years.
34 years, yep.
And I've driven this everywhere. I've only got pulled over one time. Usually they pull up next to you and look at you and just kind of shake their head and go, but you don't do stupid stuff, and that's probably the biggest thing. A lot of these, they don't
play stupid games, win stupid prizes, right? You want to go do a peel out and burn out? Well, you're gonna get your ticket. You're gonna get a smog check and all that.
And what are you proving? Everybody knows they can do a burnout. You don't think I could do a burnout halfway down the street if I really wanted to? But you don't do it right in front of your place,
I totally get it. Hey, thank you again for talking with me. One last question. I want to get your perspective on this. You've been very well, in tune with the car scene, and I really appreciate it. I hope everyone listens response to your feedback. Last question. California wants to transition to electrification in the next 15 to 20 years. What are your thoughts of electric cars in the future of the car culture?
I think there is a place for electric cars. I'm not totally opposed, but I don't think it's the end all. I don't think it's what everybody, it's going to be this, it's going to be that. It's like there's inherent problems with those also. I mean, I talked to my buddy who drives a tow truck. He said 90% of his tows are electric cars that are dead batteries. You know, I mean, now it's summertime. They're telling me don't turn your AC on.
Yep, the range will go down.
No, don't turn your AC on in your house. Don't run your appliances. But you're going to have a plug-in for your car. Like how's that going to work? The infrastructure is not set up for it to have all electric. And I mean, if you have a place like I drive here, I go to this place to work, I come home, you know, maybe you can get away with it. But you can't do that just to go everywhere. And you know, I don't think they'll ever go all electric. I mean, if it is, I'm moving. But, you know, I mean, but, you know, like I said, I'm not opposed to electric. It's just, I don't think it's what they all think.
It's not the end all.
It's not the end all. You know, they're talking about trying to do it in big trucks and all that stuff. It's like, you know, that some guy already did one with one of those Rivian trucks or something, like they said, you can tow a trailer. But, you know, like he went to like Texas, and, you know, it should have taken 2-3 days max. It took him like 2.5 weeks to get there. Because as soon as you put a load on it, the range goes way down. And if it's too hot, the range goes down. If it's too cold, the range goes down. And I mean, so there is a spot for them, but I don't think it's ever it doesn't make sense to replace anything.
Yeah, I know. I agree with you, and we'll have to see what the magical solution is. But until then, I'm keeping my V8. So go ahead and give out any plugs, shout outs, or thank yous right now.
This thing's been pink since it's been 89. But 10 years ago, my wife ended up getting breast cancer, and that's what the little breast cancer ribbon. And so a lot of people that don't know the history on this car just think we painted it pink because my wife had breast cancer, but that is not why. But since she's been through her treatment and everything, we actually start a nonprofit, and it's called House of Volta, Haus of Volta, and we have a nonprofit, and we do pinup calendars.
That's good.
With breast cancer survivors in old cars. So, you know, that's so the pink just tied into that, but that was not why it was pink. But you know,
yeah, I'll definitely be happy to share that for sure. House of Volta, definitely check them out and support. Goes to a good foundation, right?
We have a nonprofit, and like I said, it's just helping women after they've gone through breast cancer because you know, they lost their hair, they lost their breasts, they lost, you know, a lot of them, you know, the natural
sense of identity and all.
Yeah, so we just try to do something to bring a little joy back in their life.
I love it. Thank you again. It's been a wonderful interview. I appreciate it.